David Barton has just joined us, and we were talking about this the other day, about everybody is concerned about immigration, and rightly so. What's happening on the border? Nothing. You see the story that came out this last weekend on the Blaze on how many people have been sent to which states, where they are?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Over 4,000 here in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so while everybody's talking about immigration, I've been talking internally about naturalization. If you think you're going to get those guys back, you're crazy. I mean, I hope we do, but what are you going to do? Oh, we can't. We just sent them. How come we can't get them back? But that's the argument, and it's if we have it, it's gonna go for a long time. Can we talk a little bit about naturalization, please? People who come here, becoming Americans, want to become Americans. If we know what our values are, we can do that. I want to show you something. This is the Immigration Handbook. This is from 1941. How to become an American citizen. Okay, listen to this. So, what is an American citizen? What is an American? An American is a man who is greater in his soul than in his class, creed, political party, or the section in which he lives. Are we still at? Is an American greater in his soul than he is in his class, in his creed, in his political party, or the area that he lives in? To be an American, a man must have an American soul and believe in the spiritual realities upon which America rests and out of which America was born. Do we have that anymore? Would we even say that to somebody anymore? Would we say, you're coming into the country, and as a government, would we hand them a book that says, hey, listen, you have to not only know, but you have to believe in the spiritual realities on which this country was based and came out of?
We wouldn't.
Never. America was created to unite mankind by those passions which lift, and not those passions which separate and debase. Do we do that? Tell us the things. Who is out there celebrating those things that lift? Tell me who on the political front or in the governmental front is uniting mankind with passions that lift and unite. We came to America either ourselves or in the persons of our ancestors to better the ideals of men and make them see finer things, and to get rid of the things that divide and make sure of the things that unite. Not us. That's not us. This is the book we handed to everybody when they came to America and said, you want to be an American citizen? Here's what you have to do. Just so you know, on page 65, it's going through all of the things that you have to know about America and the things that, we're going to be testing you on, and this is what makes us America. To meet the needs of the world, too far advanced in commerce to rely on barter, it was necessary to adopt some commodity of unvarying value to be used as a medium of exchange. Precious metals, because of their small bulk and rarity, came into favor, and gold had the greatest appeal to mankind because of its brightness and purity. Gold at first was used in large pieces. Next, it was made into coins. It was sized. Eventually, baser metals such as nickel and copper were used. It was long the policy of the United States to use both gold and silver as standard money, but gold was the real standard. Federal law declared the dollar consisted of 25 8/10 grains of gold. 9/10 fine shall be standard unit of value, and all forms of money issued or coined by the United States shall be maintained at parity of value with this standard. So you had to learn about the gold standard. You had to learn about how much gold is backing each dollar. Not anymore.
No. You can't ask anything of an immigrant anymore. You can't ask anything of them. Do you want to come here?
Oh.
Yes. Okay, come on in. Come on in.
What language is that book written in?
It's English.
Yeah.
What?
And now it'd have to be in 19, 20, 200 different languages.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having it in different languages. If you want to come in and have it in a different language as you're learning the language, but it should have a chapter in here that we're, again, uniting people. So we can't
ask that anymore.
Yes. We have to ask those things. We have to. We have to ask those things.
It's racist to ask.
It's bullcrap not to. So you can call it racist all you want.
It's so ridiculous to call it, because what race is English? What race is Spanish? Both those languages are spoken by multiple different races. It's ridiculous that even happens.
All we're looking for is to be able to unite so we can work together. Mm-hmm. That's it. I mean, look at Carmen. Look at Carmen and her husband. We're sending them to have.
They are people who
they maintain
the building.
Yeah, they're the cleaning crew. It's husband and wife. They're absolutely fantastic. They were really kept, I feel, by the former owners of these studios, kind of down by the lack of English. They didn't speak English. And so, they were kind of off on their own. If you spoke Spanish, you'd be able to relate to them, but not a lot of people did. And so they were kind of off on their own. And they were, quite honestly, a little afraid. They were afraid of, getting fired all the time because they didn't know what was going on. So when we bought the building, the first thing I did was I hired a teacher to teach them English. And so they're up in our conference room and they are learning English. That's one of the conditions of employment. You have to learn how to speak English. And after they speak English, they're going to learn about the Constitution.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
The relationships now that they have with people in the building.
Completely different.
Fantastic. Yeah. I had an actual conversation with them for the first time the other day. I don't speak a word of it. I barely speak English.
We've noticed.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So I'm having a conversation with them for the first time. That's fantastic.
It's almost, maybe this isn't the right way to put it, but it's almost like a disability you can overcome. Like, it's like the idea that you be blind and now you can see. You're actually able to communicate with your fellow human beings.
If you were in Mexico and didn't speak a word of Spanish, of course you'd be at a massive disadvantage.
You could go to Mexico and you could find enough Americans and you could live in your own group of Americans.
But you would be limited forever until you spoke Spanish.
And here's what would happen. Those Americans, if we said we're just going to speak English and we're just going to be Americans here and we're just going to send our money back, that population would grow, but we would be a subsect of the population.
Yep.
We really wouldn't be paying attention to what was happening in the country because we weren't really married to that country. So we didn't really care. But the first politician that came to our community and spoke English and said, I care about you. Oh, man, do I care about you. Did you guys know you could get X, Y, and Z? Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. Boy, you should hear the things that they're saying about you. Ooh, they hate you. Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, they want you to send all you home. You know that? Just because they hate white people. They hate Americans. Now, if I was over in Mexico and I didn't speak a word of Spanish and a politician came or a group came and told me that and they said it in a credible way and showed me little clips that they had translated, I'd be like, holy cow, we're in trouble, guys. We got to unite with these people.
Yeah.
It puts them in a place to be used.
Yeah, I've talked many times on this network about Belize. But one of the selling points of Belize is that its official language is English. Belize, their official language is English and ours is not. We don't have English as our official language. Belize has it as their official language. How insane is that? We can't even come together and say what language we're all speaking. Now, look, you could speak obviously different languages as well, but to be informed, as you point out, and be able to communicate with people, even with
But that's the big lie.
How can that not be the thing?
The big lie is that if you make English the official language of the United States, well then, if you speak Spanish, then you'll be illegal? No, don't be ridiculous.
No.
But that's the argument they use. And it's so stupid. And apparently people buy into it. Well, I think that's awful that you're illegal if you speak Spanish.
Oh, stop it.
It's ridiculous.
You're not illegal, but let's all recognize that is the language of this country. That is what everything is. Everything in this country is in English. So recognizing it as the official language is something that's saying, look, this is our policy. We will, of course, help anyone with any other culture that it wants to come here. We're thankful. We're happy to do that. We're thankful for what immigrants have given us over the years, ones that have come here legally specifically. But to act as if we don't have a language in which we all communicate with and gives you the best chance of success in this country is insane. It's lying to immigrants. It's making their life harder. Because we tell them, no, you don't have to learn English. This is America.
If you just look at yourself as a group of Americans living in Mexico, unable to navigate, how afraid would you be of the police when they stop you?
Oh, yeah.
Even if you were there legally and you could not speak the language, you're at the mercy of anyone. And if somebody tells you, the police are really not on your side, even if they are, and you can't speak, you avoid them. It allows you to be prey. It's a really bad thing. Why we don't look at ourselves and say, would we want this for our family in Mexico? No, we wouldn't want that. We would tell our kids, you better speak English, Spanish. You've got to speak Spanish. We have got to learn how to speak Spanish. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to navigate. And if somebody is coming into your community and they're making it easy for you and so you can understand, but they're only translating certain things. If no one is coming into your community and teaching the values and principles of our nation, why we were founded, why people came here, they don't know that. Okay, they'll have turkey. Okay, we'll have Thanksgiving turkey. Do you really understand what that was? Who came in Spanish and even taught that to you? Who did? How can you possibly look up to it? Did the school teach that to you? Because we see what the good job the school is doing. We have to start paying attention to naturalization.